Hello, and thanks for mathing with me today. In today's video, we're going to be dividing integers to find quotients. Let's first talk about a little vocabulary. The number that is being divided is called the dividend. The number you're dividing by is called the divisor, and the answer you get when you divide two numbers or variables is called the quotient. So in the problem 10 divided by 2 equals 5, 10 is the dividend, 2 is the divisor, and 5 is the quotient. Start with 12 objects or chips, and suppose you want to divide them into 4 equal groups. How would you divide the chips? You would probably do something like this. You would take your chips and you would start by dividing them into groups, right? 4 groups means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Notice how many are in each group. We have 3 in each group. This is an example of division. So we took 12 chips, we divided it into 4 groups. It gave us 3 in each group. So 12 divided by 4 is equal to 3. Pause the video now and try if you had 20 chips and wanted 5 groups. How many would be in each group? As you see here below, if you took 20 chips and divided it into 5 equal groups, you would have 4 in each group. So 20 divided by 5 is equal to 4. Now let's try dividing those 12 or 20 chips into 0 groups. How many chips are in each group? Does that question even make sense? No, of course it doesn't. We can't divide chips into 0 groups, and we can't divide by 0 in general. Dividing by 0 is undefined. Now let's try some examples. Let's divide the integers to find the quotient. We can think about our bingo chips or our objects when we're dividing, but really just like multiplication, these become facts that we just have to memorize. So in number 1, we have 6 divided by 2. So initially you might think 6 divided into 2 equal groups equals 3, but hopefully you can just memorize that fact. In number 2, we have 15 divided by 3. I know that 15 divided by 3 is equal to 5. All right, time for you to try some. Pause the video and try numbers 3 and 4 on your own. Hopefully you paused the video and found that 16 divided by 4 equals 4 in number 3, and number 4, 30 divided by 5 equals 6. In the previous examples, just like in multiplication, we only had positive integers. However, we know that that's not always the case. Sometimes we're dividing a positive by a negative or by a negative by a positive. In these cases, we have to remember that the sign of the numbers, if it's the same, then our quotient is going to be positive. If the sign of the numbers that we are dividing is different, then their quotient is going to be negative. And don't forget that dividing by 0 is undefined. Let's try some examples. In number 5, we have 16 divided by negative 4. Notice that we have parentheses around the negative. Whenever the negative is after a sign, we usually have to put it in parentheses because remember that this same negative sign also means subtraction. So we don't want to confuse anything. We can't divide and subtract the same number, right? So we put parentheses around it if it comes after a sign. If it comes in the front, we don't typically need to. So if this was negative 16, it's fine if it's in the front, but after a symbol, we will put it in parentheses. So remember our rules. We have 16 divided by negative 4, so a positive divided by a negative. Those signs are different. Our answer, our quotient, is going to be negative. 16 divided by negative 4 is negative 4. Number 6 is something that we have to memorize or remember. Remember, we can't divide by 0. However, 0 can be divided by anything. 0 divided by anything is just going to equal 0. Something I want you to get in the habit of is checking your answers. How can we check the answers of division problems? Well, we can take negative 4 times negative 4, and that gives us 16. So we can always check the answers by multiplying our quotient by our divisor, and it should equal our dividend. Which means that another way to think of division, 16 divided by negative 4, we can think, what can we multiply negative 4 by to get 16? The answer to that question is negative 4. Now it's your turn to try some examples. Notice also that in the previous example, as well as number 7, we can rewrite our division problem as a fraction. Remember that this is just saying negative 14 divided by 7. It's the same thing, it's just written in a different way. So pause the video and try numbers 7 and 8 on your own. Hopefully you pause the video and you notice that in number 7, we have negative 14 divided by positive 7. Negative divided by a positive is going to give us a negative, negative 2. Number 18, we have a negative divided by a negative, which gives us a positive 9. Let's try a few more examples together. Number 9, let's divide to find the quotient. Negative 30 divided by 3 is equal to. Remember, we can think, well, we know negative 30 is a negative divided by a positive 3 means our quotient is going to be negative. What we can also think is what can we multiply 3 by to get negative 30? And hopefully you thought, oh yeah, 10. So negative 30 divided by 3 is equal to negative 10. In number 10, we have 99 divided by negative 9. Again, we have a negative, and I know that negative 9 times 11 or negative 11 is going to give me positive 99. So 99 divided by negative 9 is equal to negative 11. Pause the video and try 2 more problems on your own. Hopefully you paused the video and you saw that number 11 is 40 divided by negative 2, which equals negative 20. And number 12, 1 divided by 0. Remember, we can't divide by 0. I can't divide 1 into 0 equal groups. Therefore, our product is undefined. My hope today was that you found out how to divide and find quotients of integers. Thanks so much for mathing with me today.